Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, Chapter 5, The Activities of Sakshi Gopal, Text 21. छोटा विप्र कहे शून्य विप्र महाशय, असंभव कहे केने यही नहीं है. छोटा विप्र kahe. So this pastime centers on the conversation between the two Vipras that happened in the temple of Gopal in Mathura. So in the previous verse, the elderly Brahmana, expressing his gratitude and appreciation for the service the younger Brahmana has done, said that I will offer my daughter in marriage to you, Kanyadan. And now the younger Brahmana is responding to that, and he says that Chota Vipra kahe, he speaks, Shune Vipra Mahashay, Vipra Mahashay. He says, oh Brahmana, Vip Mahashay, you are a great person. Please hear, Asambhav kahe kene, Asambhava. Asambhava is possible, Asambhava is impossible. What you are saying is unlikely, it's almost impossible. Kaha kene, yehi nahi hai, such a thing will never happen. It will not happen. Don't speak something like that. That's what he's going to say. Now why? It seems a very peculiar response. Normally, if a boy, a young man, is offered the hand of a particular girl in marriage, and if the girl is qualified, if the girl is worthy, then the boy will be happy. And in this case, the boy is quite thoughtful here. And he's anticipating a problem, and he speaks that problem. Mahakulina tumi vidyadhana di praveen, amiya kulina radhana vidyahin. Mahakulina tumi. Mahakulina tumi means that actually Mahakulin, you are actually a very great person. You are born in a great dynasty. You are highly aristocratic. Vidyadhana di praveen. Vidyadhanadi. Vidyadhanadi means that you are filled with, you are wealthy and you are learned, you are knowledgeable. Amiya Kulin. I'm not at all a special dynasty. I'm not aristocratic. Dhana vidyahin. And I am without knowledge and without wealth. It's interesting that both of them are Brahmanas, and yet this Brahmana is saying, the younger Brahmana, Chota Vipra, is saying that I am Akulin, and he is saying that to elder Brahmana, you are Mahakulin. You are from a great kul, and I am actually from such a low kul that it's almost like no kul only. It is not even worth naming. That's why it can be as good or as bad as it is. Ami Akulin. Now, what does this mean? If both of them are Brahmanas, then why such a difference? So actually, this indicates that how the caste consciousness had permeated so much into society at that time that there was differentiation even between Brahmanas. So Brahmanas all belong to one Varna. Now Varna is the conceptual division according to inclination and occupation. Guna karma vibhagasha, as Krishna says. In practice, as the caste system became stratified, what was the functional division was actually jati in India. And jati, we could say something that it is like a subdivision of castes. That means if say India is a country, then within India there are various states. So somebody can be an Indian, and within that somebody can be Maharashtrian also. Now as a Maharashtrian, a person has a particular language, a particular culture, a particular way of dressing and eating and living, and that is subordinated to the national identity. So from the outer world's point of view, the national identity is very important, is what defines a person. Oh, you are an Indian. But among Indians, the Maharashtrian, if he goes say to Bengal, the Bengali way people dress, they eat, they talk, whatever, there is substantial difference between the two. So we could say that the state identity within a national identity is like the jati, whereas the national identity is like the varna. So, from the practical functional point of view, the Jati identity was also quite important. And important means it had become practically important, so much so that if a particular Brahmana was from a particular kul, that means a particular Jati, a subcaste within within Brahmana, that was considered high caste, then that person would have a sense of pride and belonging for being in that caste and would look down even sometimes on other Brahmanas. So when what is meant for spiritual elevation becomes a tool for material aggrandization, then the divisions can become unlimited and they can become prohibitive, restrictive and prohibitive. So this differentiation extended not only often in the narratives about India, which were told in the West and which are even now told in the mainstream media quite often, that there's so much caste exploitation of the lower castes by the higher castes. But here we see that there was discrimination not just between lower castes and higher castes. There was also discrimination among higher castes themselves, between a higher jati within a same caste and a lower jati within the same caste. So the point of this is that actually the problem is not the system of division. The problem is the mentality of self-aggrandizement, the mentality of self-advancement, where whatever one position one is in, one tries to prove one's superiority over others rather than rising. So the whole Varnashram is meant to help people to rise from wherever they are. It is not meant to parade how high I am as compared to others. But unfortunately, that's what happens. So here, this younger Brahmana is saying that Ami Akuleen. But actually, I do not have any respectable dynasty as compared to you. So whether it is inter-caste discrimination or there is intra-caste discrimination, the whole point is, as long as there is selfish bodily consciousness, then people will create systems by which they will discriminate. So in India, it might have been the caste system. In the West, it was color. In the Western people, the Europeans who were fair-skinned considered people who were dark complexioned as worthy of nothing except being slaves. And in some of the topmost philosophers who were considered very, very wise thinkers in the West, they also had that idea. So that the blacks are worthy of nothing except being slaves. So somehow or the other, as long as there is selfish consciousness, system of differentiation will come and discrimination will come up. Therefore, what do we have to do? Here actually we have to rise beyond material consciousness to end discrimination. Not that we just demonize the caste system and say if only the caste system will be removed, everything in India will be fine. No, if the caste system is removed, some other system of discrimination will come up. What needs to be removed is the self-centered material consciousness, and that happens by cultivating Krishna consciousness, by practicing Bhakti Yoga. So coming back to the story here, he's saying that not only I am not from a high jati within a Brahmana, not a high kul, I am a kulin, but further you also have wealth and knowledge. It's not that all Brahmanas are homogeneous. Even within Brahmanas, some may have learned more and some may have learned less. This Brahmana is saying that he certainly had knowledge, but he said I have very little knowledge as compared to you, and the wealth that I have is also very less as compared to you. And Kanya paye patra ami nahai tomar Krishna pritya kari tomar seva vyavahar. He says that I didn't serve you to get your daughter. Kanya dana patra ami nahai tomar. He says, first of all, I am not suitable. Na patra. I am not qualified. Why? Because I don't have the right dynasty. I don't have wealth. I don't have knowledge. So therefore, I'm not qualified to accept your daughter. And moreover, I did not serve you for this purpose also. Krishna pritya kari tomara seva vyavahar. I served you to please Krishna. You are a devotee of Krishna. And by serving devotees, Krishna is pleased. So that's why I am serving you. So I did not expect any material gain. For a young man, if he gets married to a girl who is born in a family with high connections, with wealth, then that connection can help the boy to rise also. Sometimes some In the marriage mart, some boys are fortune hunters who are looking for a girl who is like a high heiress, who has a lot of wealth with her. So he says that nothing of that sort was my motive. So I was serving you simply to please Krishna. We'll continue this discussion, the discussion of their discussion in our next talk. Thank you.